Hello there, everybody. Here we go again. Today we have a pretty difficult study, I think. If you look at white, we don't really have material enough to win this with only a knight for these two pawns. And even though if the pawns were gone, a rook and a knight versus a rook is not winning unless we have some sort of good position, like we do here, of course. The king is a bit on the target. The rook is not ideally placed in the corner. So all this together with a pretty active king for white also, it gives that we can win this as white, but we need to play perfect to manage this. So the pawns are going in this direction, by the way. So you can pause the video now, analyze this on your own, and see if you can find out how white has to play to win this game. Go ahead. Okay, welcome back. So I would say it's not so many probable moves here. First, perhaps moving the king to an even better place in f5 looks interesting. This is putting pressure on black, but there's only one move for black that saves a draw, and that is to put his rook on e8. It becomes more active. He gets control of the e file. He can put the rook in between in some variations, and this is enough for black to save a draw. Let's look at this something more. If we do something like this, discovered check with attacking the rook, he can simply play rook to e7, and we are not getting any further here. Actually, the rook is good, the king is safe, and we cannot do anything about this. Then it's better for white to try knight e5, which is a double check, discovered check from the knight and the rook, so king has to move. Black will then hide his king on g8. And if we try something like this, now we're putting some pressure, but black can save. He has to play exact to save this draw. He needs to check here. If we move, he can play the rook down to f1. And it looks like we are doing good, but it will not be enough. Black can check the king from behind. We are not able to really finish him off with only the extra knight here. There's a lot of different variations, but you can look at this on your own. You will not find a victory for white in the end. And if we try something to put here, knight in between, well, it's just not good enough. You probably move the rook away and then start checking from here, or go down later on to b1 and checking from behind like this also. Still, we don't have enough material to win. So let's look at another starting move, starting with this double check. Sorry, like this and this. Is that good enough? No, really not. Allows the king to escape to e6, and it's pretty good out here. We can move the knight to attack the rook, but this is not winning for white. Best is just to move the rook away and start checking here. The king is out. Black still has his both pawns, and we don't really have any attack. So that's not good enough to win either. So the correct starting move, the only move for white to win this, is, of course, a beautiful sacrifice. We need to play knight to f8 check. This is great. The knight is sacrificed, of course, but the point is that we are now protecting both these squares. The black king cannot go up. It has to go down to the 8th rank. Either take it or move the king besides the knight in any of these circumstances. So, okay, let's see what happens if it takes the knight first. That is the main variation. Well, now we got him there, but still we need to play exact. White only has one move to win here. Can you see it? Here we go. The king comes to f5. We are now threatening to take this pawn, and from there, checkmating. If the rook comes to g8, he will not stop it. Then we simply go ahead with our plan, and there will be a checkmate here, or he will be forced to sacrifice his rook, something like this, and we will take it, and of course win easy from there. Maybe black will play h5 instead. Now we cannot take here. Then we will allow the black rook to come to h6 with a check, force our king back, and we are not winning. Remember now, we are 2 pawns down, so we need to find the decisive play here to win this. Otherwise, we are risking a loss even. But after h5, again, only one move that wins for white. Can you see it? It's king to g6. It threatens a check here and win the rook. So if the king moves, he can only move here. That doesn't give him anything. If he moves either pawn, we will go ahead with this check. And if black instead give a check here on g8, now we can take on f6. Now he moved the rook to g8. He doesn't have the rook h6 check anymore. And from here, he cannot stop the rook to a8 next move with either checkmate or winning the rook. Okay, so that is what happens if black takes the knight. If you try something else, not taking it, perhaps playing the king to g8 instead, well, it's a lot of moves that wins this for white now, actually. The easiest is to block the h pawn. Go to h5, so we will not allow the rook to come out, and then we are threatening the king to g6. If it takes here, it will be the same variation as we looked at before. Exact same. Check, and we take, and it's resignable. And really, the rook cannot do anything, and if it's just moving a pawn like this, well, we get our king to g6. Even though the knight is here, we will still play rook a8, and this is winning. Actually, we can do even nicer things like this. Let's look at this. We have a checkmate in 2 moves here, which is the brilliant knight to h7. Now, it will be rook to a8 checkmate next move, regardless of what black does. So it doesn't help to hide on g8. Perhaps you should try to hide on e8 instead. But this is not winning or saving a draw for black either. We have, again, many different moves that wins here. I would say the easiest is probably to just play knight to g6 right away. We are threatening the rook. We are threatening rook a8 check. If he tries to move here and bind our knight, we will just move our king to f5. We are still threatening everything here. Check, or more or less we're threatening king to e6 or f6 first, and there's nothing black can do about that. So there's nothing really more to look at. We can back this from the beginning with the starting move knight f8 and a discovered check. Black is really lost from there, but it's important for us, of course, to find this brilliant move. After this, there's just technique, but we will win this in a short number of moves from here. All right, thank you for watching this little video, gentlemen and women. I hope you enjoyed it. See you again tomorrow. Bye bye.